Welcome, dear listeners, to another exciting episode of our podcast, The Science of Happiness. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here today. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an episode. We bring you well-researched, science-backed insights on what truly makes us happy.
That's right, Carlo. Our goal is to help you understand the psychology, neuroscience, and habits behind happiness so that you can lead a more fulfilling and joyful life. And today, we have a fantastic topic that impacts every single one of us: the science of happiness. What really makes us happy? Is it money, relationships, success, or is it something deeper? Stay with us, because by the end of this podcast, you will have a clearer idea of what you can do to increase your happiness.
So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into the world of happiness.
Let's start with the basics. What exactly is happiness? Many people think happiness is just a fleeting emotion, like a burst of joy when you achieve something great. But scientists define happiness as something much deeper. It's about subjective well-being, which consists of life satisfaction, positive emotions, and a sense of meaning.
Exactly, Sarah. And research from positive psychology suggests that happiness is not just a state of mind, it has measurable effects on our brain and body. Studies have shown that happy individuals tend to have stronger immune systems, lower stress levels, and even longer lifespans. Isn't that amazing?
It truly is. And here's something fascinating. Happiness is not entirely dependent on external circumstances. According to the happiness set point theory, about 50% of our happiness is determined by genetics, 10% by life circumstances, and a whopping 40% by intentional activities, meaning things we consciously do to make ourselves happier.
That's such an empowering thought. It means we have more control over our happiness than we think. So what can we do to boost it? Let's take a look at some key factors that contribute to long-term happiness.
Researchers have identified 3 major sources of happiness: pleasure, engagement, and meaning. Pleasure is the immediate joy we get from things like eating our favorite food or watching a good movie. Engagement, or what psychologists call flow, happens when we are deeply involved in an activity we love. And meaning comes from contributing to something larger than ourselves, like helping others or working towards a meaningful goal.
That's a perfect breakdown. But here's the challenge: many people chase short-term pleasure and ignore engagement and meaning, which are the real keys to sustained happiness. If you want long-lasting happiness, it's important to find balance among all 3.
Absolutely. And that brings us to an interesting question: what happens in our brains when we experience happiness? The answer lies in the fascinating world of neuroscience.
So, what's actually happening in our brains when we feel happy? Well, happiness is largely governed by neurotransmitters, which are chemical messengers that influence our mood. The 4 key happiness chemicals are dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins.
Let's break them down one by one. First, we have dopamine, often called the reward chemical. It's released when we accomplish something, set and achieve goals, or experience excitement. It's what gives us that feeling of accomplishment when we finish a task or receive good news.
Then there's serotonin, the mood stabilizer. This neurotransmitter helps regulate mood, sleep, and appetite. Low levels of serotonin have been linked to depression, so it's crucial to find ways to boost it, like getting sunlight, exercising, or practicing gratitude.
Next up, we have oxytocin, often called the love hormone. It's released when we bond with others, whether through physical touch, deep conversations, or acts of kindness. That's why relationships are one of the biggest contributors to happiness.
And finally, we have endorphins, the body's natural painkillers. They're released during physical activity, laughter, and even eating spicy food. That's why people often feel a runner's high after exercise.
Isn't it incredible how much of our happiness is actually controlled by these chemicals? And the best part is, we can actively boost these neurotransmitters through small, daily habits.
That's right. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Scientists have discovered that happiness isn't just about what's happening in our brains. It's also deeply connected to our lifestyle and mindset. This brings us to our next topic: how we can cultivate happiness in our daily lives.
Now that we understand the science behind happiness, let's talk about how we can apply it to our lives. There are several proven strategies that can significantly boost happiness, And the best part is, they're simple and actionable.
One of the most powerful ways to increase happiness is through gratitude. Studies show that people who regularly practice gratitude have higher levels of well-being. A simple habit like writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day can make a huge difference.
Another important factor is mindfulness and meditation. Research has shown that mindfulness helps reduce stress, improve focus, and increase overall happiness. Even just a few minutes of mindful breathing each day can have a profound impact.
And we can't forget about exercise. Physical activity not only boosts endorphins but also improves sleep, reduces anxiety, and enhances overall well-being. You don't have to run a marathon, even a daily walk can be beneficial.
One more key aspect of happiness is social connections. Humans are wired for connection, and strong relationships are one of the most consistent predictors of happiness. Whether it's spending time with family, catching up with friends, or even helping a stranger, meaningful connections matter.
That's such an important point. And of course, finding purpose and meaning in life is crucial. People who engage in activities that align with their values, whether through work, hobbies, or helping others, tend to feel more fulfilled and happier overall.
Now, let's talk about something equally important: the obstacles to happiness. Even though we now know what contributes to happiness, many of us struggle to maintain it. Why is that?
That's a great question, Sarah. Some of the biggest barriers to happiness include stress, negative thinking, comparison, and lack of self-care. Stress, for instance, activates the body's fight or flight response, which can make it difficult to focus on joy and well-being.
And with social media, it's so easy to compare ourselves to others, which often leads to dissatisfaction. Learning to practice self-compassion and avoid unnecessary comparison is key to protecting our happiness.
Now, let's take it a step further. One of the most powerful traits that influences happiness is resilience. Resilient people bounce back from challenges and setbacks faster, and they don't let negative experiences define them.
That's such an important topic. Resilience is built through mindset shifts, self-care, and having a strong support system. Let's explore practical ways to build resilience and maintain happiness, even in tough times.
First, let's talk about embracing adversity. Life is full of ups and downs, and no one is immune to challenges. The difference between happy and unhappy people is not the presence or absence of struggles, it's how they respond to them. When we learn to see setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles, we develop a more positive outlook on life.
That's a great point. A practical way to develop resilience is through cognitive reframing. This technique involves shifting our perspective on a situation. Instead of thinking, "I failed at this, so I'm not good enough," we can reframe it as, "This didn't go as planned, but I learned something valuable that will help me next time."
Another key factor in resilience is emotional regulation. When we go through difficult situations, it's natural to feel overwhelmed, but learning how to manage our emotions can prevent them from controlling us. Practices like deep breathing, journaling, and even taking a walk in nature can help bring clarity to our thoughts and reduce stress.
That ties into the power of self-compassion. We tend to be our own worst critics, but research shows that people who treat themselves with kindness during hard times are more resilient. Instead of beating yourself up over mistakes, try speaking to yourself the way you would comfort a close friend.
And of course, resilience is also about having strong social connections. Studies show that people with supportive relationships are more resilient because they have a network to lean on during tough times. Whether it's family, friends, or a community, having people who understand and support you makes a big difference.
One more thing that can help is developing a sense of purpose. When we have something meaningful to work towards, whether it's personal growth, a career goal, or helping others, we're more likely to push through challenges. Having a purpose gives us the motivation to keep going, even when things get tough.
Now that we've covered resilience, let's shift our focus to something equally important: long-term happiness. How do we sustain happiness throughout our lives, rather than just experiencing short bursts of joy?
That's a great question, Carlo. Long-term happiness isn't about chasing highs, it's about building a fulfilling life over time. And that starts with understanding what truly makes us happy in the long run.
Research has found that one of the strongest predictors of long-term happiness is having meaningful goals. But here's the catch: it's not just about achieving goals. It's about enjoying the journey. People who focus only on the end result often find themselves feeling empty after reaching their goal. The key is to set goals that align with your values and enjoy the process of working towards them.
That's so true. And another major factor is personal growth. Humans thrive when we are learning, evolving, and improving. Whether it's picking up a new skill, reading books, or challenging ourselves in small ways, continuous growth keeps life exciting and fulfilling.
And we can't talk about long-term happiness without mentioning lifestyle choices. Simple habits like getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, and spending time outdoors have a profound impact on overall happiness.
Definitely. And another important aspect is living in alignment with your values. When your daily actions reflect what truly matters to you, you feel more at peace and fulfilled. For example, if kindness is a core value, making time to help others will naturally bring you joy.
That's an excellent point. And let's not forget about financial well-being. While money alone doesn't bring happiness, financial stability can reduce stress and provide a sense of security. The key is to use money in ways that enhance well-being, such as investing in experiences, helping others, and securing basic needs.
Another long-term strategy is practicing acceptance. Life will always have uncertainties, disappointments, and challenges, but learning to accept what we can't control and focusing on what we can control leads to greater peace of mind.
That reminds me of the power of letting go of grudges. Holding on to resentment or past regrets can weigh us down emotionally. Studies show that people who practice forgiveness experience lower stress levels and greater happiness.
And to wrap it up, let's talk about having a positive legacy. Many of the happiest people dedicate time to making a positive impact on others. Whether it's mentoring someone, volunteering, or simply spreading kindness, giving back creates a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Well, that brings us to the end of this part. Long-term happiness is about adopting sustainable habits, embracing growth, and finding purpose in everyday life. And the best part is, it's never too late to start.
Welcome back, listeners. Now that we've explored resilience, long-term happiness, and sustainable habits, it's time to dive into one of the most fundamental aspects of happiness: community and human connection. We are social beings, and our relationships with others have a profound impact on our overall well-being.
That's absolutely right, Sarah. Research in positive psychology consistently shows that strong social connections are one of the most significant predictors of happiness. In fact, the famous Harvard study of adult development, which has tracked participants for over 80 years, found that close relationships are the key to a happy and healthy life. It's not about fame, wealth, or career success, it's about meaningful connections.
That study is fascinating. It confirms what many of us instinctively feel, that happiness is deeply intertwined with the quality of our relationships. But in today's fast-paced, digital world, many people feel isolated and disconnected. Social media gives us the illusion of connection, but it often lacks the depth and warmth of real, face-to-face interactions.
Exactly. And loneliness has become a growing concern in modern society. Studies show that chronic loneliness can have the same impact on health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases stress, weakens the immune system, and even shortens lifespan. But the good news is, we can actively work to strengthen our social bonds and build a supportive community.
So let's talk about some practical ways to foster deeper connections in our lives. One of the most powerful ways is being present. In our busy lives, we often multitask during conversations, checking our phones, thinking about work, or planning what to say next. But when we give someone our full attention, we create genuine connections and make them feel valued.
That's such an important point. Another great way to build relationships is expressing appreciation. A simple thank you, a kind note, or even just acknowledging someone's effort can go a long way in strengthening relationships. People love to feel seen and appreciated.
Yes, and let's not forget about acts of kindness. Research shows that small, selfless acts, whether it's helping a neighbor, volunteering, or just offering a smile, boost not only the recipient's happiness but also our own. Kindness has a ripple effect, creating a chain reaction of positivity in our communities.
That brings us to another crucial factor: finding your tribe. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you is essential for long-term happiness. It could be a group of friends who share your interests, a supportive family network, or even an online community with like-minded individuals. Finding people who align with your values can be a game changer.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about deep conversations. While small talk has its place, meaningful discussions about life, emotions, and aspirations create stronger bonds. Studies show that people who engage in deeper conversations experience higher levels of happiness than those who stick to surface-level chatter.
That's a great point, Sarah. Another powerful habit is practicing vulnerability. Many people shy away from sharing their true thoughts and emotions, fearing judgment or rejection. But vulnerability is the foundation of authentic relationships. When we open up about our struggles, dreams, and fears, we invite others to do the same, strengthening our connections.
That reminds me of the importance of active listening. Too often, conversations become a competition of who can speak next. But truly listening without interrupting, judging, or thinking about our response helps people feel heard and understood, which deepens trust and connection.
And let's talk about something many people overlook: quality over quantity. You don't need hundreds of acquaintances to be happy. Even having just a few deep, meaningful relationships can provide immense joy and support. It's about nurturing genuine connections rather than spreading yourself too thin.
Such a valuable insight. Another great way to build community is by engaging in shared activities. Whether it's joining a club, taking a class, or participating in group sports, doing things together strengthens bonds. Research shows that people who participate in group activities feel a greater sense of belonging and fulfillment.
That's so true. And for those who struggle to make connections, here's a simple but effective tip: be the one to reach out. Sometimes people hesitate to initiate conversations or invite others to spend time together, but taking that first step can open the door to new friendships and opportunities for deeper relationships.
Yes, and one final thought: forgiveness and conflict resolution. No relationship is perfect, and misunderstandings are inevitable. Learning to resolve conflicts with empathy and let go of grudges is essential for maintaining strong, lasting connections. Holding on to resentment only harms our own happiness.
What a powerful discussion, Sarah. Building strong social connections is truly one of the best things we can do for our happiness and well-being. The good news is, it's never too late to start strengthening our relationships and creating a supportive community around us.
Absolutely. And that wraps up part 7 of our podcast on the science of happiness. We hope today's discussion has given you valuable insights into the power of relationships and community. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll dive into another fascinating aspect of happiness.
Until next time, stay connected, stay kind, and keep spreading happiness.